Welcome to How to ABX. Today is Blast Villain Burn Season. Today we will be using Magneto with his newest uniform. He has Rage. His rotation is pretty simple. You delay cancel 5, everything else you spam as quickly and as often as possible. That includes his 7 and his 6. I will go ahead and show you the rotation in use, and then I'll give you some more information at the end. So if you're just interested in the rotation, here you go. Alright, 5 delayed cancel and hit everything as quick as you can. If you want to use normal attack, like holding down the normal auto attack until the other skills are on cooldown, that's fine. But pretty much everything else you are going to instantly cancel, including his 6. Pretty straightforward. Very easy to use character. You can cancel today in burn season with his 6, 4, and his 3. As you can see, they are highlighted with the thumbs up. So you do not need a striker specifically for canceling, nor do you have to save necessarily any of those skills, as 3 and 4 do have a pretty good cooldown. 4 you have to be pretty close in order to use, so if you're at a distance there might be a little bit of a delay. Magneto is one of the higher scoring characters, and this uniform is definitely a must-have if you want to really push your AB scores in general. Alright, he's about to jump center here. Yep, I'm already distracted off to the side. If you cast the 3, as soon as he lifts his paw, it will cancel pretty easily. So sometimes I will try to hang on to that 3 while spamming the rest when I'm close to a roar time. Paying attention to the roar timer can be important. As far as his procs go, it really doesn't matter. You're just wanting to spam. The procs will be active most of the time, and most of the skills are pretty much throwing constant metal around all the time. 7 doesn't interrupt, so you can hit 7 whenever, of course, but since everything is pretty much spam, besides your 5, even if your 5 is going off and you're waiting for the bubble, you can still hit the 7. Alright, around 22-ish, 26-ish, he should be jumping center again, so I will hold on to the 3 this time. Yeah, there he goes, jumping center. I will pop the 5. Oops, for a second, shouldn't have done that. 3. There we go. I was able to do 3 shortly after, and as you saw, the bar for the roar was about halfway gone, but was still able to pull off that cancel. Pulling off your cancels in ABX are important to keep your score as high as possible. If you do get lucky, or if you can try to avoid the meteors, great, but I typically don't focus on avoiding the meteors with Magneto, or as I jokingly call him, Spamneto, since you are basically spamming his skills. Alright. Coming up on that last roar, which is at 38. Here we go. I'm going to hold on to that 3 again. Wait till he jumps center and lifts his paw. He's center. Okay, Paul is going to lift right here, pop the 3, and then go right into spamming again. Actually looked like I almost missed that cancel. Alright, we're going to be just shy of 14.5. 15 mil is not too bad. Obviously the cap's a little bit higher than that. So 14.3 mil is not too bad. I did get 15.1 mil before the reset, so I will rerun this after I'm finished with this video. So let's talk about a little bit of information before I do that rerun. So to begin with, let's talk about my general cards. Your cards are going to play a big factor in how well you can do in AB, especially in ABL. I know we're talking about ABX, but it's worth mentioning. So the cards that I have equipped currently give me the following. I do not have max Pierce, and I am lacking on my physical attack. So I do have some ways to work on to get better cards going on, but overall not too bad scores and stats there. Magneto's build, as mentioned, you want his newest holiday uniform. It is the Krakoan Winter. That is his best uniform, hands down, no contest. If you don't have this, you probably want to consider a different Blast villain, but right now this is the meta. He is, of course, tier 4. He has some Odin's Blessings. You do want to try to amplify all of your slots, and you want to try to equip at least 5-star, if not 6-star. I do have him pretty stacked out because Magneto is one of my 3 favorite characters, Doctor Strange being first, Magneto, and then Shang-Chi in Marvel, period, and all different types of content. Skills I always tend to max out. Black Widow ends up being a really good striker for ABX. If you are going to use Black Widow, it's probably better if she is a tier 4 with some sort of a CTP. I do have a CTP of Rage on her. She's not really meta anymore, so there are other options to consider, but if you do have a tier 4 or a very well-built Black Widow, she makes a phenomenal striker, and she'll actually increase your score by having her. Type, usually pretty high. ISO 8 sets. You want to make sure that all of the ISO 8 sets are 6-star red, so you do want to fully awaken them. Usually any of the attack sets are good. POA or Overdrive are usually preferable, but Hawkeye's is fine as well if you need that extra cooldown. Which ISO 8 set you build kind of is up to you, and it's based upon your cards and character builds. I do not have his artifact. His artifact does increase his score. I do have a Mighty Rage on him, which is why you were seeing that additional proc, because there's the Enraged. And I do have a Mythic uniform. If you are curious about the uniform options, they are Blue Marvel Classic, Iron Man Back to Basics, Jean Grey X-Men Red, Hawkeye Marvel Studios Hawkeye Hero Suit, and Jessica Jones Jewel. Here is his overall stats for my character. I'll show the overcap as well. As usual with ABX characters, you do want to try to cap attack speed, crit rate, crit damage, ignore defense is a must, cooldown is a must. Movement speed is not bad to have capped, and dodge is important as well, especially if you have a rage. Crit and dodge will help your rage to do more damage, and even if you don't have a mighty, it's very important that the rage proc is at least the 0.9. For mighty it could be higher, but that 0.9 is max rage, so you do not want to have it below that. You could also consider using Magneto with an anger proc if you do not have a rage, but if you've been able to afford the paywall uniform, then more than likely you can afford to get rages. So definitely worth considering. He's usable in a lot of content. He is very user-friendly. Let's talk about team really quick. So currently the best team, in my opinion, if I go back to Arena, Alliance Battle, I like to use him for his own leadership, which gives the extra 50% to mutants. That does apply to him. Enchantress with her newest uniform, and of course Mysterio with his newest uniform. Mysterio does have a rage, so I am sporting a rage on him. I'm sorry, an insight, I apologize. He is sporting an insight. He is definitely worthy of using an insight, and he is usable on multiple days with villains. So this is the best blast team, in my opinion. Just something to consider. So if you found this useful at all, consider a thumb up and leaving comments, and I will make more videos in the future. May your ABX scores be as high as possible.